While it is widely known that Toriyama took inspiration from movies and myths to create Dragon Ball, only a small portion of the public is aware that he was also deeply inspired by ufology. Yes, I mean it. Toriyama was an UFO enthusiast. I totally mean it in a positive sense. I wouldn't mind to be defined that way myself. I just want to say he was ahead of his time even in this field. Basically, in almost every of his stories there were some forms of UFO or alien appearances. While from interviews we are aware that he loved science fiction, throughout the years I've collected many clues that testify he kept informing himself about UFO news, checking out photos and videos from all over the world, sometimes accessing even to material that wasn't really open to the wide public. Even without counting the alien species that appeared in Dragon Ball, you can literally loose the count of aliens and spacemen he decided to portray within all of his other stories. He even decided to create a whole lore around the Galactic Patrolmen, where Jaco and Dragon Ball Minus are just the tip on the iceberg. Sachi-chan's Gu and Jia were a kind of prequel to it, and we also see the first appearance of the Galactic King in there. Some alien races like the Octos were literally crossovering different Toriyama's stories. The same has happened with Tech, who appeared in Dr. Slump, Oishi Shima no Usama, Toko Angel, Jaco the Galactic Patrolman, Dragon Ball Super manga, and in Yo Son Goku and His Friends Return, where a female Tech has become the wife of Vegeta's brother, Tarbal. There will be a separate video to debate the real alien species present in Dragon Ball. Here, I want to focus the central part of this video on alien spaceships, also called UFOs, cause there's really some astonishing stuff to discover about them. Many of Toriyama's spacecrafts and vehicles designs were inspired by UFO sightings. To be clear, this video main aim is not about discussing if those photos and videos are real. The point is that they were part of the ufologic history, whether they are real or fake. And Toriyama seems to have been really inspired by that material. Space pods, also called attack balls, those spheres have been seen many times. They even feature a circular red-purple glass window, just like in Dragon Ball Z. They may not crash into the ground, still the resemblance is significant and cannot be unnoticed. King Nikochan's UFO, the shape of this craft is clearly inspired by George Adamski's 1946 photo of an UFO. We could recognize the spherical elements on the bottom, as well as round windows. King Nikochan was a funny alien present in Toriyama's Dr. Slump. While in the animated version he is just goofy, in real life he would be pretty much disturbing. Frieza's mothership. There are several photos depicting motherships that look very similar to Frieza's spaceship. Besides those, I want to highlight this sketch, drawn by a witness at Basingstoke Canal near Aldershot in United Kingdom in 1983. The witness was taken on board and then released. If you compare this drawing to the final design of Frieza's spaceship, you will notice many coincidental details: a top subdivided area, circular windows on a middle band, a similar exit stair, standing feet that get out of the UFO with some kind of mechanism. Of course, Toriyama then added some more details, but looking at them compared, you really start to think Toriyama has read a book about this story and was inspired by it. Trunks Time Capsule. While it is a vehicle that shouldn't literally be meant to travel in space as it travels in time, some UFOs look very similar to that design concept. This specific photo comes from Alfina, Portugal, and was taken in the year 1990. Incredibly, the first Trunks manga appearance along with his time machine was published in Chapter 331, The Young Boy of Mystery, in Weekly Shonen Jump magazine on July 15, 1991. The chance of a direct inspiration is concrete. In the photo enhance, we can even see some bluish separated elements around the top part of the spaceship. The glass dome is probably a Toriyama invention that fits pretty well on it. Last but not least important, Dragon Ball GT. Our hero's spaceship has been made by Toriyama, but even that kind of crazy jellyfish form of spaceship has been seen and photographed before. This particular phenomena was specifically
Look at
seen
that.
often in Japan, in various
That's a
locations
trip.
including Osaka, Chiba Prefecture, and Shikoku Island. Cryptid researcher Takeshi Nakazawa named it Sky Hair due to its strange form. Some people actually believe it is not a strangely shaped UFO, but rather a real flying living being. We have no idea what it is. While it is known that Toriyama designed the Grand Tour spaceship, we could not exclude he gave some hints also to the Toei crew for the other spaceships that appear in the GT series. Specifically, spaceships that look exactly like the ones from Planet Lude have been photographed in Tijuana on the 18th of October 2008. I've seen this case reported also with the date 2020, so there are more controversies about it. Of course, I'm aware that Dragon Ball GT has been created earlier, in 1997, but from a certain point, UFO cults started to get formed, so that photos in certain realities weren't anymore shown to public domain, but instead started to be an exclusive proof shown to a limited number of people. What I want to say is that if that thing is real, there could be more older photos of that kind of objects. I just didn't manage to find them. I don't intend to say that Toriyama was part of some UFO cult or other weird statements. He probably was just curious about UFO and aliens, and being an influent person, some of these people could have been glad to give him photos of those objects. This is just an assumption based on all the other cases described previously. Just to be clear, with this whole video I don't anyhow intend to belittle Toriyama's fantasy and design capacities. On the contrary, I believe he was a man driven by inspiration, which requires even more creativity to be handled and adapted to personal narrative necessities. Ah, there's something more. Shenron and Dragon Balls. While those cannot be considered spaceships within Dragon Ball series itself, weird aerial phenomena that could recall a dragon and his balls gathering in the sky have been reported many times. We could not exclude ancient myths about dragons could have been founded by people who witnessed to something like that. Funny to report, now that Toriyama isn't anymore with us, we have to hope that Toyotaro will keep the alien references alive in Dragon Ball. But I believe he is already on the right path. In his Dragon Ball AF Chapter 11, Toyotaro made a reference to a 1950s fake alien photo. That monkey-like creature created a lot of humor and sensationalism in Japan, while it was almost forgotten in Western countries. Maybe he is kinda interested in UFO and aliens as well, or maybe he wanted to continue AF community alien folklore references. That's great by my point of view, and considering the Galactic Patrolmen events continued in Moro's saga, maybe we will see further developments in that sense in the future. As a final personal note, I felt the urge to share those information considering the UFO sightings wave that occurred between last December and January 2025. While USA and UK were the countries most involved into these sightings, they actually occurred all over the world. We don't know if these events will have repercussions in the short term or the long term, or if the situation will calm down and people will forget again about unidentified events that happen in our skies. You are free to be skeptical. You could think it is just some kind of military technology test, holograms, or even demoniacal stuff. In my heart, I like to believe there are other civilizations in this wide universe. And there's no real reason to believe that a different level of technology, way superior to ours, isn't capable to bridge the distance gap that separates us from other habitable planets. Whatever the truth is, it is heartwarming for me to see how Toriyama was inspired by this material. Keep checking PGV channel for more unique Dragon Ball-related documentaries.